Welcome to Engineers Academy, and this lesson we will be going to learn the brief introduction of MATLAB interface. Then we will be learning how to enter commands and expressions. We'll use some arithmetic operations and we'll start talking with MATLAB. After that we will learn some commands that how to work with the work session. So MATLAB stands for Matrix Laboratory, and MATLAB is maintained and sold by the MathsWorks. MATLAB has number of add-on software modules called toolboxes that perform more specialized computations, and they can be purchased separately. So now when you open the MATLAB for the first time, so this is the default desktop of the MATLAB. So in this desktop we see these menus at the top of the screen. Then this whole place is called toolbar strip, and then we have different tools in this toolbar strip. So we will discuss these toolbars one by one. Then at the middle of this default desktop we have command window, and command window is used to communicate with MATLAB by typing instructions of various types called commands, functions, and statements. When MATLAB is ready to receive instructions, it displays this prompt sign. This prompt sign is displayed, and this is the sign that MATLAB is ready to get your instructions. So before giving any instructions and commands to MATLAB, make sure that your cursor is next to the prompt sign. So then you will be able to give instructions to your MATLAB program. The other window that appear on the default MATLAB screen is the current folder directory, and this is just like the file manager windows. You can access your files from here. Double clicking on the file with the .m extension will open that file in the editor, but we will learn about the editor in the future lessons. This is the workspace window. This workspace window shows the number of variables that we are already working with. Let's suppose I enter x is equal to 3. So this x is equal to 3 variable is added to the workspace. Again, let's suppose I enter z is equal to 5. So the z is equal to 5 is entered to the workspace. So it keeps tracking the number of variables that I am going to enter one by one in the command window. The next window that is on the default screen is the command history window, and it shows all the previous keystrokes you entered in the command window. As we can see that z is equal to 5, x is equal to 3, these are shown one by one there in the chronological order. It is useful for keeping track of what you type. You can click on a keystroke and drag it to the command window or the editor to avoid retyping it. Let's suppose I want to execute x is equal to 3 again. So I can drag and press enter, or I can double click on the keystrokes that I have entered which appear in the command history. So if I want to execute z is equal to 5 again, so then I can double click on this and it will be executed. If some of you people are not happy with this default workspace, so you people can arrange all these windows according to your choice. Let's suppose I want to put this workspace window beneath this current folder directory. So what I will do, I will drag this workspace beneath this current folder directory. So now I want to modify this default workspace for myself. So what I normally like is that I put this workspace along with the current folder directory, and then I keep the command history below these two current folder directory and workspace directory. So now if I want to find the 3 raised to the power 2, so what I will do, I will write 3 cap 2, and this will give me 9. A and S is the default variable in MATLAB which stores the answer. So now let's suppose if I want to multiply two constants, so what I will do, I will write 2 steric 3. So this is the multiplication syntax. Then there is right division. right division, let's suppose I want to divide 8 divided by 2. So right division will give me 4 answer. But if I write 4 and the left division, so this will give me 1.5. So this left division is basically equal to 6 divided by 4. Then if you want to perform additions, so it's very simple. I can write 4 plus 2 and it will give me an answer of 6. Similarly, I can perform subtraction as well. For subtractions, I have to write 7 minus or dash 7 minus 3, so it will give me an answer of 4. And I can use the answer for further calculation as well. Let's suppose if I write 3 multiply by answer, so it will give me 4, because in the answer variable 4 is stored. So 4 is stored in the answer. So if I multiply the answer with 3, so the answer is 12. So now the answer keeps the value of 12. So now if I want to divide this answer by 3, so it will give me 4 answer. So this answer is updated for each and every instruction that I am giving to the MATLAB, for each and every arithmetic operation. So I will suggest to people that do not perform your operations like this. Always keep your answer in some other variable. Let's suppose I want to keep my answer in the variable x. So let's suppose I want to write x is equal to 2 plus 3. So now the answer is stored in x, and I can use this x as a constant again and again. So let's suppose I write t is equal to x plus 1. So now the answer will be 6. So it's better to keep your answer in some variable. If you keep your answer in an answer variable, so that answer variable is always updated on, and you people will not be able to keep track of your values. I write CLC in the command window. So CLC command window, CLC command clears the command window, and here we can see that in the workspace window we have some variables. Answer is equal to 4, t is equal to 6. So let's suppose if you want to clear all the variables, so what I will do, I will write clear all. So all the variables are cleared from the workspace window. Now if I want to clear a particular variable, so then I have to write clear and the name of that variable. So let's suppose I write x is equal to 2, y is equal to 3, and z is equal to, let's suppose, 5. And now if I want to clear x and z variables, so what I will do, I will write clear x and z. So x and z variables are now cleared from the directory. The next important instruction is the who command. So if I write WHO and press enter, so it tells me the variables that are currently in the memory. So currently I have two variables, that is t and y. Let's suppose if I write whose, so whose instructions give me the list of the current variables and sizes and indices if they have imaginary parts. So let's suppose if I have an imaginary variable, let's suppose c is equal to 2 plus 3 iota, and now I write whose. So c is a complex number, so it tells me that c variable is a complex number and it has the iota in it. So now as we see that all the variables that I am using having a size of 1 cross 1. This means that the MATLAB stores each and every variable in terms of a matrix. So these c, t, x and y variables are 1 cross 1 matrices. So let's suppose if I want to enter an array, so what I will do, I will write, let's suppose I will write r is equal to 1 colon 4. What it does, that it creates an array of 1, 2, 3 and 4. It creates an array having elements with equal spacing. And if I write whos again, so I will have this r variable with the size of 1 cross 4. So 1 cross 4 is 1 row and 4 columns. So if I write y is equal to 1 colon 2 colon 5, so it will generate an array between 1 and 5 with a spacing of 2. So 1 plus 2 gives me 3 and 3 plus 2 gives me 5. If I write x is equal to 4 and then semicolon, so what semicolon does is that it suppresses screen printing. It will be stored in the memory, but it will be suppressed from printing. Also, if I want to enter an array with 2 rows, so what I can do, I can write, let's suppose I will write f matrix is equal to square brackets 2 comma 3 comma 4, and then if I write semicolon, so now I'm able to enter another row. So 5 comma 7 comma 8 and square bracket closes. So if I press enter, so it's a 2 cross 3 matrix. That's the end of today's lesson. Subscribe to my channel Engineers Academy and keep watching.